Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got a fun one for you today. I've got a little title down here, and as you might have just seen there when I hover over it, it's going to have a little animated underline effect appear just on it. Once you create this effect, you can put it on just about anything you want. These little blurb modules below, I've just added it to that also. If you want to emphasize something, great little idea. Really easy to do, so let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. Okay, I'm just going to undo everything I've got here so it's not doing the underline. Great, and we're back to normal here. I've just got a regular title there, the little blurb modules. Now I'm going to use a code module for this today and write the code on this page. If you want to use this throughout your site, you can do the same thing over in Theme Options. If you go down to Divi, the General tab, you can write this code right here in the Custom CSS panel. You can use it all the way across your site. So you can see what's going on today. Like I say, I'm going to use a little code module on the page. You can also write it in Appearance, Customize, and the additional CSS panel. That is exactly the same one as this one. Okay, let's go back over here and we'll start to get it done. I'm going to leave that little section in there. Well, let's start from scratch. I'm just going to put a heading module in there. There it is. I'll leave it exactly as it is for the time being. And let's go down. I'm going to add a little code module. It doesn't really matter too much where you put it. It doesn't take up much real estate. I'm going to put it under this module here. Here it is, a little code module. And we're going to be writing some CSS code. So the first thing we need to do is open some style tags. Left pointing bracket, the word style, and right pointing bracket. It'll put in a closing style tag for you. In between, we can write whatever CSS we want. Okay, to do this today, we're going to be using what they call pseudo elements before and after our pseudo elements. So we need to create a class name for this. I'm going to call mine uline for perhaps shorthand for underline. You can call yours what you want. It wants to be unique. It's a good idea if it means something to you too. So all class names have a dot or a period in front of them. Then what you want to call it, I'm going to call mine uline for underline. Then, as I say, we're using the pseudo elements before, so we need to put 2 colons in there and the word before. Then we can open some curly brackets and tell it what we want it to do. Well, we're going to be adding some content, so I'm just going to say content, colon. I'm just going to put some inverted commas in there to tell it that we're going to put something in there. And we'll put a little semicolon on the end so we can add another line of code. This content is going to have a position of absolute, position, colon, absolute. And it wants to be right on the bottom, so I'm going to say bottom, colon, 0. And it's going to start from the left-hand side, so I'm going to say left 0 also. And this will all become apparent when we actually animate this thing. Now, initially, if you saw that before, I want the line to start off as nothing and then grow to 100%. So to take care of that, I'm going to give it initially a width of 0. Also, a lot of zeros going on here today. Now, depending on how thick or how wide you want yours, we'll give it a height. I'll start off at 2 pixels. We can always make it bigger or smaller afterwards, and I'll show you how to customize this to your liking when we get it up there. And the color we'll use, I'll just use a regular blue for this today. So I'm going to say background, dash color, colon. Like I say, I'm just going to use a regular blue. We can change that anytime. Okay. Well, now we've got to make the animation. Basically, what we've told it is to create something that's got a width of 0, a height of 2 pixels, and a color blue on the left-hand side. Now to animate it, we want to make a hover effect out of this. So I'm going to copy that whole class name with the before to create a hover effect. Right after the uline right there, I'm going to put yet another colon with no gap, and then no gap again, and the word hover. So we just created a hover effect for that. We can open and close some more curly brackets here. And all I'm going to do is tell it to have a width now of 100%. 100%. Now the time it's going to take to get from this state, the before, to the hover state there, is instantaneous. To slow it down, I like to have a little bit of drama there. So I'm going to say transition, colon. Well, I want the transition of the width to take, I don't know, about 3/4 of a second. I'm going to say 0.7 s, 700 milliseconds. And I want it to ease in, ease out. So I'm going to say ease. Put a semicolon in there. Great. Well, as you may have noticed, absolutely nothing's happening. It's because we have to apply this class name of uline without the dot to whatever we want to affect with this. So let's just save our little code module. Now we've got our title up here. I'm going to go over to the advanced CSS IDs and classes. It was a class name we created, so I want to put that class name in there, which is uline. Now when I hover over it, see it's got that blue light animating in. But if I move this over, it's animating the full width of the row that this is in, because the heading module there is taking up the whole of that section. So to make this work a little bit better, let's make this line only do it for the width of this module. So I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go to my heading text. It's a heading 1. I might change that to a heading 2. I'm going to make it semi-bold. I'm going to make it that blue in color. Let's just copy that blue and I'll make that underline the same color blue. So I've just clicked on the color there. Control C to copy that hex code there. I want that to be a little bit bigger maybe, so it's decent size heading. Then I'm going to pop it in the middle. What I'm going to do now, let's just shrink this down a little bit and pop this down here. So I'm going to put a background color in this module so you can see how wide it is. Well, you can see how wide it is there with the underline effect. I want it to only be the width of our title here. So let's go back to content, background. I'll just throw a crazy color in like red. Now I'm going to go over to design. We're still in the heading settings here. I'm going to go to sizing. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Try 450 pix. Width is right here. I'm going to say 450px or 450px. That's not bad. Still a little bit wide. What about 400? That's okay. You'll tell when it goes too small, because if I take another 20 or so off that, or if I just slide it down, you'll see it breaks. So if you get it close as you can without it breaking there, and if you're going to use this on tablet and mobile, you can adjust it by going to the width. Getting the little icon up there, you can have a different value for your tablet and a different value for phone if you want to. So 383, that's going to do it. But of course, I want it in the middle, module alignment down here. And now when I hover over, that blue line just stretches the width of the actual text there, which is exactly what I want. So let's get rid of that crazy background. And I'll go back into that little code module and we'll use that blue color that we use for our title there. So I'm going to save that. I put the code module just down below here. I move this up a little bit. Here's the background color. I just need to paste that hex code in there where it says blue. Change it to any color you wish. There it is. I'll roll up there. That should have changed color now. Now if it's not wide enough for you, we've got a height of 2 pix. You can up that right here. Move this out of the way. Now 3 pix. I think that works okay. And it's taking 0.7 of a second to get from the left to the right there once we hover over it. If you want to slow it down even more, you can put 1.2 seconds in. Higher value, obviously. Put in whatever value you want with yours. It'll take that long to fade in and that long to fade out. If you want it to go quicker, put in a smaller value. and it's getting there really quickly. I think I like my 0.7 second. That worked for me. That's great. Now, because we've got that written, anywhere on this page we can apply that class to anything. Or if you put it over here, anywhere on your site, you can just apply that class to any module. For instance, if I apply it to this blurb module right here, go into the blurb module, CSS ID and classes. There's the old class that I had it going before, and this is just called a uline. Now when I hover over the blurb, it's going to have that underline underneath the blurb module too. And you can apply that to pretty much anything you want. So there you go, guys. There's how to create a nice little underline effect. Let's make sure it's going to work on the front end. I'll save my draft. And we'll exit the visual builder. Go down, there's our little title there. When I hover over it, that line's going to appear. 0.7 seconds. When I take my mouse off, it's going to disappear. Same amount of time. And I've got it on this little blurb module down there as well. Really nice little eye-catching feature to have on your site. That's CSS code for anybody that just wants to copy and paste it. I'll put it down below the video. But I would suggest you just write it. It's a great thing to learn how to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful, guys. Nice little underline effect for your Divi site there. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.